But good morning to everybody. Big shout out to you, no matter what side of the world you are on. It is still morning time. Well, unless New Zealand. New Zealand might be well into the afternoon. But anyway, the other shoe has dropped. It is official that the other shoe has dropped. And that other shoe is Kevin Magnussen is going to be released in 2024 from Haas. He is not going to be driving for Haas. Now, I don't know about a lot of you all, but I know I had spoke to this and I had told you that I didn't think K-Mag was going to make it. I felt K-Mag actually, I felt he did decent as far as, it's kind of hard to say, right? I think he did decent in showing us I'll say this, some moments happened with K-Mag that probably has some of us feeling like, you know what? He might not be that bad. He might actually be able to help a team like Haas and move a bit more in the right direction until they're completely ready to just, until that situation happens where the drivers are hindering the team from progressing. Well, that may have come a little sooner than I expected, maybe even more than you expected, because at this point in time, Haas is sitting in a position where Nico will be leaving. He's going to be driving for Audi when they come in. And I think that's a pretty good move for Audi. I think now they just need to get their young gun locked up, or whoever that future pick is going to be. Nico at this time in his career is not somebody that you're locking into for like long-term future plans. He's somebody who's going to come in, be able to help the team. He's got experience. He's been doing pretty damn good this season. I think that's where Nico stands. So now they need to find them some young talent that's going to come in and probably be promising to a degree, because nothing's a promise. So you just have to kind of hope that they'll come in and do what they're supposed to do. But if you look back at 2023, Haas was dead last. Okay, and this is what I mean by I think this time has come sooner than I even anticipated. Haas was dead last, and at this point in time, Haas is now 7th in the championship standings as far as constructors. They're 7th. They're 3 spots up from where they were last season. And I have to say, that surprisingly is surprising. Big shout out to Paul, says, good morning, bro. Hope you and the fam are well. Peace and love. Peace and love to you too, brother. What's up, Allison? Peace and love, brother. You know that Paul is one of our jewels in the fam, man. He's one of the pillars in the fam as well as many others. But Paul, big shout out to you, brother. Always checking in, always supporting. So K-Mag is out. K-Mag is out. And I think that I think it's 2 things. Okay, I think it's 2 things. Haas to me is still not an American team, and nothing's going to change that to me, how I feel. They might have a P.O. box in America, but to me, they are not an American team. They are just vicariously living as Americans, and it's not really even working in that capacity. Haas has been one of those teams that I think many of us have said, if Andretti is not allowed in, then what are you doing keeping these teams? And I think Haas was at the top of our list as far as teams that should be jettisoned. And currently right now looking as a prospect is Alpine. But for sure, Haas. What's up, Sylvia with Kelly and Dave in the chat, Allison in the chat. But at this point in time, is 2 things that you can do if you're trying to stay away from being a scorned eye to the point where there is no value to you whatsoever. You can either bring headlines or you can bring in talent that people want to see what's going to happen. And at this point in time, Gunther back then was headlines with all his quotes, with all the shenanigans, with his funny statements, with his T-shirts. He was that. Allison says, I would have been surprised if he stayed. He's been dive bombing a lot this season. I was going to get into that. Good thing. The last thing Haas needed. Yeah, the last thing Haas needed, but at the same time, Haas needs a lot. And Haas has not been, to me, a team where they can develop a driver. I don't think they've showed us that they have the ability to develop a driver. I don't think they've showed us that they have the ability to keep a major sponsor. I don't think they've showed us that they have the ability to get a good driver pairing. I don't think they've showed us any of those things where we would feel confident that Haas should remain on the grid no matter what happens. They were the 11th team when Mercedes Marussia was there. They are now the 10th team, and since then, they have been a horrible team. But, like I said, surprising, Haas is 7th in the Constructors' Championships. But when it comes to K-Mag, he's even better than he was last season at this point in time. Last season, K-Mag was 19th in the driver championship standings when they completed it out. Right now, he's 16th. So just like Haas is 3 steps above where they were, K-Mag right now is 3 steps above where he is. But I would say this. If you just solely looked at K-Mag's positioning or his standings from last season to this season, it really doesn't give you the tail of the tape. It really doesn't tell you much about really what K-Mag has been offering Haas, what he's been offering us as spectators in the sport. And to be honest, K-Mag has been offering us crap. Let's just keep it real. K-Mag has literally been offering us crap. He's been dive bombing like Allison said. He's set up here and just abruptly, rudely, damn near out of pocket, gotten up so many penalties of blocked driving. Several drivers on the grid talking about he's trying to help Nico. Now, to me, that was an act of, in my opinion, desperation. An act of, I know I'm probably not doing well. Nico's on his way out. The driver market is changing. K-Mag has to worry about Ocon is available. Sainz is available. Like drivers that are better than me are going to be available. And if not better than me, at least maybe just as good as me, but younger than me. So yeah, the driver market is not going to be his friend. At this point in time, there are drivers that are available that are literally better options than K-Mag. And that right there probably was his saving grace last season. He did well in a way where it wasn't truly on merit, okay? It wasn't truly on merit. And I'm going to tell you this. In K-Mag's career, he's not been as high as 9th in the Drivers' Championship standings, and that was back 2017 or 18. That was then, okay? He hasn't been as high as that. Since then, he's been subpar 15, probably 13th in 2022, maybe? 2022, I think he was above 15. But K-Mag, he's not been that guy. He's not been that guy. So it's just time. It's time for him to go. Haas right now, like I said, unexpectedly have become a team that maybe feel like, hey, we have an opportunity. We have a car that is coming around, and we have drivers that are available that may give us the opportunity to at least have drivers of potential that people want to watch, and are drivers that might give us a higher ceiling if we're developing a better car. Paul says, big shout out to Paul. Paul says, saw Haas F1 van on the highway yesterday, was hoping it didn't run me off the road. Bro, oh my gosh, thank your lucky stars, Paul. I am so thankful that you are still here, brother. That right there was dangerous. You were living on the edge. If I saw a Haas trailer or a van, bro, I'm trying to be 3 cars back, or I'm trying to get past that van as soon as possible, bro, because we all know at Haas, above the door, when you enter their facilities, it says wrecking is racing, all right? And I'm not changing that until they change a lot more in Formula One. So we got Ollie Bearman coming in. I was concerned. I'm not going front. I was concerned. I am still concerned about Ollie Bearman. Although it's a Formula One seat and he's getting this opportunity, Haas has not shown us that they are an environment that can groom and grow drivers to where it is a productive situation for them. And Ollie Bearman is going to be now in a situation that to us probably is still questionable. Now, let's say you Haas, come out halfway through the season. What if Haas replaces where Alpine was some seasons ago? What if Haas ends up 4th in the Constructor Championship standings? What if that happens? What if that does happen? Just what if? Let's just think about what if. And let's just think about, is that even possible? Because right now, and I'm going to say it's impossible, but what if is like, what if? I'm going to say it's impossible, but my what if is going to be not 4th. It's going to be around 6th, okay? 5th or 6th. Because to me right now, I think it's impossible for Haas to reach 4th. in the Constructors' Championship because you got Red Bull, you got Ferrari. McLaren has waken the hell up like a beast out of nowhere. Lewis Hamilton and George Russell just finished winning back-to-back GPs for Mercedes, which has held an Ellen car for some seasons. So right there's your 4 spots, and Haas is not doing better than them. Okay, you're not going to do better than your works team, Ferrari. Okay, so you got Red Bull, Ferrari, McLaren, Mercedes. That's locked up. Then you got Aston Martin. If Aston Martin falls by the wayside to end up changing positions for Haas, that's going to be crazy. Okay, you got Red Bull, Visa Cash App. I think that's completely a legitimate target to take Red Bull, Visa Cash App's place because they're only 4 points out from Red Bull, Visa Cash App. Okay, they're 4 points out from Red Bull, Visa. I hate saying their fucking name. I just hate saying it. It's so damn long. Okay? RVAB. I don't know. RVAB. The other Red Bull team. Okay? RVB. Shit. Is there a good, efficient way to say that damn name? But anyway, they're about 4 points out from them. So that is a legitimate target to set their eyes on. And I do think that would be an accomplishment if Haas were to take that position over and be 5th or 6th. That would be nice. I don't think Aston Martin are going to do horribly to the point where they end up conceding the 5th position to Haas. But 6th is a hellified improvement for Haas, and that is something that I would legitimately say, hey, Haas did pretty good. They did pretty good. I would give them that. I would literally give them that in that situation because given what they've come from, think about it. If they made 6th, that'll be their highest position that they've finished in as constructors since 20. Damn. The last time K-Mag actually finished high, 2018. That would be the last time they finished higher, okay? 2018. So if they finished 6th in 4 or 5 years since then, yeah, I got to give them some credit. And then I have to legitimately ponder if, yeah, Ollie Bearman coming in might be an improvement for them, or they might be an improvement for him. The other driver, who is that driver going to be? I can tell you who I don't want it to be. I'm just being serious. I can tell you who I don't want Ollie Bearman's teammate to be. And I only say this because it is detrimental, it is counterproductive, and it is proven that it's going to be a toxic situation. It's like one of the least toxic situations. If Ocon is picked up by Haas, I don't like that for Ollie Bearman. I don't. I do not like it for Ollie Bearman. Okay? Because there's no way Ocon is going to come into Haas seeming like he's the number 2 driver. He's going to come in with a number 1 driver mentality, like he always has, regardless if that's the case or not. He's going to come in elbows out, recklessly against team orders if they give him to him. He's not going to concede. He's not going to be the type of driver that's going to help you groom or teach or give advice to Ollie Bearman. Ocon is a nice, nasty guy. He's a nice guy that's nasty when it comes to competitively on track. But I will say this. I like his tenacity. I like his conviction. I like his elbows out. But I don't like when you can't find the space of when it is ultimately time to be a team player and when it is time to just be all out for yourself. And it seems like Ocon has difficulty trying to compartmentalize those situations. And it hasn't worked out well for Alpine at all. Alpine hasn't worked out well for their drivers, but their driver lineup in Gasly and Ocon hasn't worked out well for them. So I don't want to see Ocon be Ollie Bearman's teammate. I would prefer to see Sainz. I think Sainz has shown us, even with Charles, there are moments where, and I got to credit Sainz because I'm going to say this. I know there have been moments where Sainz takes the reins and he just runs off. But when you look at the situation, he was right. When you look at the variables, he made the right call, okay? I know he cries a lot. Sainz cries so much it gets on my damn nerves. He's a crybaby. Even when he's not crying, he sounds like he's crying. It's cringeworthy. Sylvia Witt Kelly says, I heard he'd be signed to Haas already. Man, Sylvia Witt, lady, I'm just, oh my gosh, man. Hey, Mimi, you welcome for the hat. No problem, no problem. You know, people say I ship empty boxes, but you actually got yours. Big shout out to you. But yeah, I don't want to see. I don't want to see Ocon out of Formula One. I don't. But damn, Ocon, bro, you're not doing yourself any favors. And at this point in time, I do think if Ocon was a bit better with being a team player, I think Haas would have already locked him in. I think he'd already have like a lock in with Haas. I'm not sure that I definitely don't think Red Bull are going to bring him in to that team. Appreciate you, Sylvia with Kelly. I don't think they're going to bring him into that team. Would there be room? Yeah, because ultimately I think Danny Rick should be part of this vacating of seats like K-Mag is. And I know Komatsu said that he wants to work with K-Mag in another capacity, which that means not a driver. I would like to have you around, but not as a driver. Maybe as somebody who can jump in our sim, do sim work for us. Maybe somebody who could be a liaison, an admin, somebody who could come in, a consultant, and help us. Because you have been down, 10 toes down. You're just not the right driver and good enough to keep around. And that's where K-Mag is. He's not good enough to keep in that seat. And I think surprisingly surprised, Haas may have found themselves in a situation where they feel we can do this. That's what I feel. And we'll see what happens. So, yeah, K-Mag's out. Nico's going to be out. He's going to be driving for Audi, so he's got himself a nice little landing spot there. Of course, uncertainty with Audi coming in, knowing what they may or may not be able to do as a Formula One team as competitively as they are in other racing series. When you hit the deck in Formula One, things are different. And I don't expect that to be any different for Audi, although the learning curve could be exponentially smaller or larger in any capacity. But we'll see. So Nico's straight there. And that's going to be a project that Carlos Sainz said he didn't want to take on. Carlos said, hey, I don't know if I want to sign up for Audi because that's going to be a project that's going to be a long time in the making. And so we'll see what happens with that. So other than that, yeah, K-Mag's out. Ollie Bearman's going to be in. We're waiting for the other shoe to drop to see who that other confirmed driver is going to be for Haas for their driver lineup. And I do hope for Ollie Bearman's sake that it's not Ocon, but I would hope for Ocon it's there for him because I don't want to see Ocon out of Formula One. I think that some of his habits and his tendencies can be helped. Because Yuki made a change. Think about that. Yuki made a change. A lot of us, if you weren't down on Yuki, you were disappointed on Yuki. Either way it goes, you were some type of D word about Yuki. All right? Nobody be funny about that. You were and Yuki turned over a new leaf and has become a better driver, a better person, a better teammate, a better company man as far as what he's doing. Has he had some minor setbacks? Yeah, but that's warranted. Drivers do that. But Yuki was on a string where it was unbearable for people, I think, to work with him because he was talking to them like they were crap. He was driving like crap. How do you talk to people like crap and you drive like crap? Either you got to be good enough to be tolerable or you're not and nobody wants to tolerate it. And now Yuki has become that to me. He's a better driver. He's outperforming Danny Rick, who they brought in and they thought was going to outperform him. He outlasted Nick DeVries, which they thought and swore he was going to be the senior driver. Now Lim Lawson came in, and that's crazy. Lim Lawson, I still want to see him in Formula One, wherever he's going to be. But ultimately, yeah, I think Ocon, maybe to Red Bull, and then Lim Lawson to Red Bull. But I'm still the person that says, I just think there's something to say about a driver who has legitimately proven his worth in your team compared to the teammates that you put against him, and then offering a Red Bull seat, an official Red Bull seat, to a driver who hasn't done much but had a nice little stint. I'm not going to even say body of work, had a nice little stint about what was going on at the time. Lim Lawson doing well in the absence of Danny Rick. I still would find it disrespectful if Lim Lawson came right in and they gave him the Red Bull seat and didn't even give Yuki an opportunity. All right, you brought Lim in, let him drive the RB. You brought Danny Rick in, let him drive the RB. I want Yuki, and I want to see him this season or during testing at some point in time in an RB. So we could get an idea, is there something there? And I think that he deserves that. I think he's earned that. Not even deserved. I think he's earned that opportunity before you bring in a washed-up driver in Danny Rick, who has proved he's probably washed up, and you bring in a driver who gave you a little stint of niceness, true, but has not given you what Yuki has given you in that car with that team, with all the peril and situations that have occurred. That's how I feel about it. So we'll see what happens. We do have more lives come in. We have the Hungarian GP coming up this weekend. So make sure you stay tuned in the Wolfpack Performance, because we're going to be live going into the week, going into quality. We do have a race this weekend as well, but we'll see how that goes. Family race. We're going to be here Sunday. We're going to try to come in Friday. Probably going to be here later today. You know how it goes when we enter the race weekend. We kicking up, turning live. So without that being said, K-Mag is out. He's gone. Left stage exit. But who is going to be in that seat? All right, Wolfpack out. Peace.